Hello everyone, my name is Miranda. Today I'm here to review the new episode of Shadowhunters. I have to say I went into this episode with a bit of trepidation because, as you may or may not know, I didn't love last week's episode. I thought it was just kind of a big old mess and also very dark. So my fears were starting to be realized when this episode started and we begin with Izzy almost dying thanks to going after the vampires. And I said in last week's that I'm just really done with Izzy's storyline, so I'm not going to talk about it too much because there's just no point in rehashing. Basically, all my feelings from last week are what I'm feeling again. You know, this is stupid, and I don't really get the point of it, and I have to be honest, like, her and Raphael, I thought that was supposed to be, like, you know, I think it was supposed to be, like, intense and intimate and hot, and, like, I was literally laughing. Like, it was so bad. I was just, like, not buying it at all. I don't know. Like, I don't mind the idea of them as a couple, but, like, it's just, like, this, like, fake intenseness that, like, all of a sudden came out of left field, kind of. I don't know. It's just, it's weird to me. Other than that, I mean, this show is getting super dark. Like, they need to freaking lighten it up. There was so, like, every single scene was just, like, dark, dark, dark. Like, I just don't like when shows do that because it's hard to watch. Like, there was literally a scene where Jace was wearing black and he was in a room that was dark, and I paused it to go get some food, and when I paused it, he literally looked like a floating head because everything was just dark around him. It's just frustrating, but other than that, I did enjoy this episode, and I'm really, really happy because this was one that I was going in, you know, just, like, not feeling it. I didn't watch it right away because I was just like, oh, what if it's just going downhill from here and stuff like that. But I really, really liked it. It was all about Max's rune ceremony and kind of Alec trying to get his family used to the idea of Magnus, which I really liked. And I liked how Alec did it because I thought he again would be like frenzied and trying to like overmanage everything and trying to prove to his parents that like Magnus is good, you know, like show like that Magnus is good for him, but instead he was showing more that Magnus is here to stay and like his relationship with Magnus is in this fling, and I really like that because I think it was a more mature decision out of Alex, and just the way he acted in this whole episode aside from the hallucinogenic part was very mature because I feel like he dealt with his mom in a very good way, you know, like he wasn't yelling exactly and he wasn't trying to be like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. He was saying like, I'm with Magnus, we're happy, Magnus is good for me and he's helping me, and if you can't acknowledge that, like, you're the one with the issue. And I just love seeing him. He looked lighter, he looked happier, and I truly think that like him and Magnus, I love how they're more of an established relationship now, so like it's now being the little cute coupley things that they do, you know how like Magnus was so worried about this party and being perfect, and Alec was kind of like, this is more than I could hope for. Like, you did great. And even Alec, like, the way he was treating Clary, I loved when she was leaving and he was like, hey, are you leaving already? Like, I feel like before he would have not even wanted her there, and now he was, like, happy and smiling, and it was just, it's great to see Alec like this. I really, really enjoy it, and I love seeing him and Magnus together, just being all coupley and cute and supporting each other. Speaking of couples, we had Clary and Simon come out of left freaking field, honestly. Like, where did that come from? I know, like, was it last episode she was checking him out when he was shirtless, but I was like, yeah, like, we all do that to people. I don't know. Like, I thought he was with Maya, and I guess I must have missed it since I was kind of half in, half out on the last episode when she was like, go for Clary. Like, I don't want to be with you if you have 1 foot in, 1 foot wanting Clary, you know? So they confessed, and Clary, I don't know. Clary and Simon were a very weird thing in the books. Like, their relationship, I don't know. It was very weird, and I think it, again, is weird in that they're kind of, I don't know, like, it's just, I don't see the chemistry, I guess. Like, I can watch them perfectly fine. I don't want to, like, throw up when I see them kissing or anything like that, but I think we all know that it's not going to last, and I honestly like his scenes with Maya better. I feel like he just seemed more of himself there, and I think Clary and him are both hanging on to their old life in each other, and I think that's why they want to be together, because they're kind of the only grounding thing they have from their old life that's still somewhat normal and somewhat can like relate to what they used to be before their lives got crazy and before Jocelyn died. I do know there's supposed to be like a big Clay scene coming up in 209, so I don't really know like how that's gonna fit in. We did see that Simon's super still insecure about Jace because Jace was kind of being, you know, a good person, being like, oh, congratulations, but you could tell that like he wasn't happy because he obviously still has so many feelings for her. So he was kind of like, you know, like, yeah, I'm just gonna remove myself. But then when they were all under that spell, Simon was snappy and saying like, oh, you did something to Clary. I know you said something to her. She only gets like insecure about our relationship when you're in the picture. And we also had Jace declare that like now that Clary is kind of, you know, under threat because she can wield the soul sword, he's not going to let her out of her sight. So I feel like that's going to be very difficult for Jace and Simon to kind of, you know, get over their pissing contest that they've constantly had and stuff, and just learn to protect Clary. But, you know, that's what is going to be the important thing, because we did learn that Clary now has angel blood. I mean, we knew this if you read the books, but it's been confirmed, and I thought she wouldn't be able to do the sword because I thought you needed pure as in, like, full, like you need to be all angel blood. She's only part, but she does have pure angel blood, so she can wield the soul sword, which is why Valentine needs her and why Valentine doesn't want her hurt and everything like that. So I think the new thing is going to be now this is Clary's kind of burden to carry now, because again, we saw Maya in the preview for next week was like, I'd rather have her die than have a chance of Valentine wielding this. And I think Clary is someone who is very compassionate, so I feel like she's going to struggle with that, and that she's going to be like, if this were one of my friends, I obviously wouldn't want them to die or kill themselves, but at the same time, she's realizing that, like, she kind of, if she takes herself out of the picture, that's a huge loss to Valentine. So I think she'll, like, consider it for, like, a second, you know, because it's out there and everyone's thinking it, but I think, you know, everyone's going to talk her out of it. I'm interested to see Alex and Izzy's reaction to this, because I think Alec, we saw him getting, again, closer to Clary. Like, she went through the whole thing where he was hallucinating with Jocelyn, and that was so heartbreaking to see her. Like, I just love the way it was shot, and that, like, what she was actually saying and that what Alec was hearing. And my good golly graciousness, Kat did such a good job with that when she was snapping at Alec and just being like, why would I want to be here seeing you with a drink in your hand and a smile on your face? You disgust me. Like, that was such good acting right there. I was super impressed. And this was something that was not in the book, so I like seeing their take on it, and I think it was really good how you got to kind of see, like, what was actually happening and then the hallucination that was happening, especially with the whole Alec and Clary scene. That was probably my favorite thing. But I feel like they are closer, because at the end she's like, I don't blame you at all. I hope you know that. Like, I don't blame you. And I think Alex still blames himself, and that's the issue, but it definitely helped. And I thought they were going to hug, but I was like, that's too much for Alec and Clary, you know, like, they aren't quite there yet. But he did give her, like, a little bro pat, and she was like, thanks, buddy. I did like, too, when Max was, like, snapping at Jason, was like, you're not my brother, blah, blah, blah. And I just love, if you watch it, like, they're all there, and then he's like, Mom said you're not my brother, and Jace just walks away, but then, like, Magnus walks away too, just, like, in a different direction. Like, Magnus is just like, nope, peace. So overall, I really, really enjoyed this episode. I loved seeing Alec and Magnus interact together, and I will admit that I teared up at the part with Alec's mom, who I can never pronounce her name, Maisie or whatever, Maisie, when she was like, I don't regret taking you in for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet, because I feel like, you know, she's been so crazy, and I've just hated her for so long. She's always been like, I'm following orders and following orders. And I think she finally sees that, like, you know what, her kids are doing great, you know, like, they're awesome and they're great kids. And I think she's starting to see that she doesn't want to be out of their lives. And I loved when she tried with Magnus, you know, she brought him wine. She's like, I heard you like to drink, and he was like, thanks. And I was like, oh, she's trying. She ruined it 5 seconds later, but I feel like she truly did take huge steps in this episode to at least be open to where Alec and Magnus are. If, like, not saying that she's accepting, because I don't think she is quite right now, but for her to admit that, like, she doesn't regret taking Jace in, and for her to go to this party, I think were huge steps for her. And I'm really happy that she did this, because now we don't have Jocelyn, so this was kind of the only mother figure, and I hated her, so I'm glad that she's redeeming herself, you know? And I really, really like this episode. I just had everything. It was cute with Alec and Magnus just being like a little couple and being so happy together, and him planning the party and wanting to be perfect for Alec and his family. And then we had Clary and Alec, who, that was just like heartbreaking, but then really, you know, had me at the end. I was like, yeah, they finally, like, made amends. And I hope this is the time it sticks, because I feel like Clary and Alec, like, they always, like, do something that, like, gets them closer, and then something happens, and Alec blames Clary for it. So I hope this time it sticks. I really, really love this episode, and I'm really excited for the rest of the season. So if you have seen this episode, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Also, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel down below to be told to make all sorts of new videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!